Good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh, good one. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church, in person and at home. I am Laura Stern. I am treasurer of this church and a few other roles that I serve as well. I am honored to welcome you to worship this morning along with our worship team, Reverend Dave, Liz Kreslin, and Adam Odell. First Unitarian Church has been a home for progressive religion in Chicago and beyond since 1836. The church sits on the western shore of Lake Michigan, south of the Chicago River. We honor the indigenous peoples for whom these are unceded ancestral homelands, as well as the diverse and vibrant indigenous American communities who make their home here today. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, and the mission to grow our souls and heal the world. Whether you just stepped into this church for the first time or for the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. No matter your race, or who you love, or how much money you do or do not have, you are welcome here. If you are a visitor, we're excited to have you with us. Please let us know that you are here by filling out a visitor card, making sure that you include your email address, and dropping it in the offering plate, which will ensure that you get on our weekly newsletter. If anyone has a joy and a sorrow that you would like to have read aloud, please fill out a card and give it to one of the ushers as they collect the offering. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like the minister or pastoral care committee to know about privately, you may put cards in the sanctuary box at the back at any time. And these cards are found right in front of you in the pocket of your chair. And there should also be a pencil there to allow you to fill it out. And I would also note that this card is our entrance into the 21st century, giving you a QR code to make your donations. And again, if you are a visitor, we would really love to know about you, so please do fill out these cards. And thank you to Adam Odell for this new system of populating those pockets for us. Please join us after the service in Chris Moore Parlor for refreshments and good conversation. To get there, you just go up these stairs to my right and follow the crowd, or ask anyone to guide you, of course. And finally, I have quite a few announcements because we are a rockin' and a rollin' church. It's September and we are all back in the saddle. So first of all, we have, right after this service, Reverend Dave will be available in the VOV library, which is the room that is accessed at the back of the church, up the stairs at the back there. For anybody who is new or wants to learn more about Unitarian Universalism, he will spend about half an hour at 11 o'clock to be able to give you that information. Then shortly followed after that by First Forum, where we have a speaker who's going to address the starvation in Gaza. And it's somebody who has been working with on a volunteer basis, so this is coming from firsthand information. Tonight, we have the Equinox Gathering, and Liz has organized this. There are some handouts at the back at 5 p.m., and it's the Equinox ritual that is something that comes from all spiritual paths and really honors some of the earliest forms of religion. And then finally, we have a new thing happening on Wednesdays. As you know, Wednesdays are the day that we try to have some kind of a social event of some kind. And this Wednesday, Liz will be kicking off the film club. And the film club will consist of short films or particularly short kinds of films, not necessarily features, along with a discussion of the film afterwards. And I would just encourage you to make sure you look at the order of service on the back because there are quite a few other things happening. All right, so it is good to be together today. Oh, I always forget this, I'm so sorry. Now it is time for me to read the covenant. Please join me in reading our covenant as we light our chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
In a letter to my daughter, Maya Angelou wrote, "I am convinced that most people do not grow up. We find parking spaces and honor our credit cards. We marry and dare to have children and call that growing up. I think what we do is mostly grow old. We carry accumulation of years in our bodies and our faces, but generally, our real selves, the children inside, are still innocent and shy as magnolias. We may act sophisticated and worldly, but I believe we feel safest when we go inside ourselves and find home, a place where we belong, and maybe the only place we really do. What a gift to feel at home, even for a moment. What if we could give ourselves that gift here to feel belonging, to feel at home inside our own bodies, even if just for an hour? What a gift to rest in that belonging together and to make a home. Welcome home. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn is Gather the Spirit. It's number 347 in the gray hymnal. Please rise as you are able for the singing.
Now in our Time for All Ages, we have a story, and I invite the young or youngish to the carpet if you'd like to join me. You can tell the story. You take the chair, you tell the story. It's a good crowd today. Thank you all. We gotta get a bigger carpet, right? Today's story is a folk story. I'm a big fan of folk tales that are passed on through generations, that appear in different cultures and different communities around the world, and then people retell those stories, and they change every time they tell them. This is a kind of well-known story, and this attribution is in the 13th century in the southern part of Turkey. But there are versions of it throughout the Middle East. It's a Nasruddin story. He's sort of a famous character in that. So one day, Nasruddin, he was kind of like a wise man in the village, and he was a religious leader and someone people consulted on things. And one day he was invited to a banquet, a really fancy party at the house of one of the most sort of magnificent landholders, and man had the most magnificent house, and people thought of him as a really important guy. So all day, now Nasruddin, he was invited to this great party, and all day he was out working in the field, and he thought with relish of all of the good conversation. The party was going to be awesome. The food was going to be amazing. He was going to see everyone. But he also didn't judge how much he had to get done that day. So he was working into the field, and he was checking his watch or his sundial. I don't know what he was checking. But he was checking the time, and it was getting late. And he decided to stay and finish his planting work, get all of his tools put away. So he didn't have time to go get changed. He didn't have time to wash or to dress, and he said, I don't want to be late to the party. It's rude to be late to the party. I'm going to just run on over there. And so he went there with the smudges of the day's work on his face, his work clothes on, and his gloves stuffed in his back pocket. And he ran over there, and he got to the door of the magnificent one just in time. All of the guests had already come, and the conversations were buzzing around the room. But it was strange. On this day, unlike any other day, no one asked Nasruddin's opinion. No one talked to him. No one sat at his table. No one invited him into their circles. And he thought to himself, this is so strange. And the magnificent one, who was always so friendly to him, didn't even pay him any attention. And when the time came for the guests to be seated for dinner, Nasruddin was placed in this spot, like way in the corner, way in the back, way in the table, all alone, farthest from that magnificent host. Quietly, Nasruddin excused himself from the group, and he hurried home, right? He said, I'm going to see if I can fix this matter. And so he went home, and he scrubbed up, and he put on his best clothing, put on his sport coat, put on a fine hat, I suppose, and an elegant vest on top, and his largest head wrap. And with his head held high, he presented himself again at the magnificent one's door. Every eye was on him, and the servants, there were many servants in this house, they brought him in. And rising immediately, the host came to greet him and led him straight to the place of honor at his own right hand. Right? And as the dinner progressed, the great one, the magnificent host, richest man in the village, he addressed Nasruddin with one question after another, asking his opinion. He says, you're the wise one, tell me this, tell me that. And then, but to the magnificent one's astonishment, Nasruddin just sat there, and he began stuffing the food, the good food, into his coat pockets. I wore coat pockets for that reason today. He kept stuffing the food in the inner pocket and the outer pocket of his new fine coat. And he says, each time he stuffed something in his pocket, he'd say, eat my fine coat, eat my fine coat. And first, the magnificent one watched and didn't say anything. They couldn't make sense of it. He said, finally, the host said, Nasruddin, what are you doing? As he sat there with his stuffed pockets. Nasruddin said, sire, I am but feeding the guest you invited to the banquet. When I came the first time this evening, you gave me no notice at all when I came in my work clothes. But when I came in my finery, you treated me as the guest of honor. I have not changed, he said. I'm still Nasruddin, whether I'm in my work clothes or I'm in my fine suit. Therefore, it must be my good coat to which you are giving such honor. Since my coat is the guest of honor, it shall eat my meal. Right? Okay. Does someone want to moralize? Take a moral from this story? Something that's important? Why is Nasruddin feeding his coat? What's that? What's the word? Okay, we're going to go.
I actually think he didn't do that just because it was his coat that was invited. I think there were some people that couldn't come because they didn't have fine clothes and stuff, and they didn't have a lot of food. So I think he was stuffing it so later he could feed them also.
Oh, that's a beautiful interpretation. He was thinking about the people who don't have fine coats and don't have food, who weren't even invited to the table. Bella.
I think that he was doing that because he felt left out when he was in his work clothes, but when he came in his fine clothes, everyone treated him really nice. But when he was in his work clothes, he didn't get treated well.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that too. I think he really felt it. And he really felt that it wasn't about him at all. It was about the clothing. Anyone, was there another voice over here? No? Okay, my friends. Now this is your story. You can take it. You can tell it your own way to whom you want and use it to share and to connect with your friends. Thank you. Now we're going to sing you out to your class, and we're going to take a moment and we're all going to greet each other. Go Will.
Check 1, 2.
Out there, out front.
Each week, we take up an offering to support the ministries of this church. And each month, we share our offering with a community partner, 50/50, whose work we really believe in. This month, our partners are Med Global, whose work to end starvation and suffering around the world, including in Gaza, you'll learn more about at our first forum today if you attend after church. And also Chicago Food Depository, which supports our neighbors right here in Hyde Park and around the city, preventing hunger and food insecurity. And during the offering as well, you're invited to fill out one of the Joys and Sorrows cards and place it in the collection plate if you would like it read out today. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Please rise in body or spirit for the singing of our centering song. I will teach it, and then I'll invite you to join along with me. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. Then we switch to full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive full. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the dark. May I be empty and open to receive the dark. May I be empty and open to receive full. May I be full and open to receive the dark. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the love. May I be empty and open to receive the love. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the love. May I be full and open to receive. Thank you. You may be seated.
As we enter our practice of sharing our joys and sorrows with one another, I want to begin in a place of sorrow, but also a word. It is a time, particularly here in Chicago, right outside our doors, that we have governmental presence. We have ICE patrolling streets and putting many of us at risk. And so in these weeks, in conversations with individuals, private conversations, we have been discussing the opportunities to help people be safer, be as safe as we each can be in the way the community can support that. If there is a way that this church can help you feel safe in this time, if you are experiencing a special vulnerability, I invite you to enter into conversation with me. A few things we have done that have been helpful. One is to maintain emergency information here in the church office. We have many of us who are here without family right nearby or living in our home, and having people who know your emergency contacts, meaning us. If you share it with me, I share it only with the office in a secure file. And so in case of emergency, if you need a contact, we're able to trigger that if we understand something has gone wrong. That can be family, that can be an attorney, an immigration attorney in many cases, and it could be caring friends, so we know if something is needed. So if there are other ways that we can talk and ensure your safety, please let's enter into that conversation and make sure that we make those connections now. I also encourage you, I have a stack of cards with me, as strange as that sounds, to take a card, and if you find yourself in a situation where you may have the ability to ask to see your pastor, it's a little bit amazing, but sometimes being a minister in our tradition gets you through some doorways, and I've gotten through jailhouse doorways and hospital doorways with nothing more than that. And so I encourage your first call to be to your attorney, but take a card and say, I want to talk to my pastor, and I can be a connection point. That's an invitation. And so we turn now to the sharing of joys and sorrows, and I thank all of you who put them on a card. When you write something on a card, it is not only to make your heart visible, but to lift up a joy or a sorrow that someone else has in the room as well, particularly when you share joys and sorrows of the world. We did not walk in here being the only person who have a point of celebration or a point of worry. I guarantee you, you are not alone. Such is the gospel of this church. I will begin in the spirit of celebration, and this most wonderful card, initialed, but MM, if you know who MM is, glad to be here. Me too. A blessing to be in this house. Another joy, today is my mother's 65th birthday. She will be retiring here in the fall. I'm so proud and excited for her next adventure. Unsigned, but I am hoping we will get to meet Mom and be part of shaping that next adventure. And now, more in the spirit of worry and sorrow, that we might hold in our hearts with care one another. Written, thank you, Samantha. I'm disturbed by the, forgive me, escalating totalitarian activity of this administration, but I'm heartened by the protests and by the actions taken to resist by the people. We are stronger together. Indeed, we are. I lift up from Ellen a sorrow for Tyler Robinson's family, especially his father. Thank you, Ellen. I lift up at this time all of those who suffer by virtue of the violence done to them, by virtue of the violence done in communities, by virtue of the violence done by people who know not what they do and know not the ripples of harm that that violence creates. I want to lift up and care and hold in our hearts all of those in our congregation who at this time feel vulnerable and feel stressed, feel the anxiety of threat surrounding all of us, feel unmoored by the shaking of the foundations of institutions we've long come to trust, feel lessened by the world around us limiting our speech, limiting our autonomy, limiting our right to worship, limiting indeed for some of us our right to even exist. Let us care for one another in these days, first by seeing one another and then by listening to one another, because our experiences are shared, but our journeys are very much our own. Let us be strengthened by the sharing with one another. Let us be empowered by the caring we can show for one another and the world around us. Let us keep showing up in public witness and showing up as beacons of love and a different path. For my friends, we have followed a different path.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Our text for reflection and meditation today is from Gene Olson. This year I'm trying to give some daylight to the meditation manuals we as Unitarians have been creating for more than 100 years. 100 years of pulling forward these texts for our little communities to sit and share with one another. This is a text from Gene Olson, materializing. In what form did the Spirit appear to you today? The blossom of a flower, the tug of a child's hand, the silent twinkling stars, an old woman smiling at the bus stop, a lover's gentle hug, a presence so close to your soul you could almost touch it. Words of truth formed unbidden in your mind. The holy, disguised in so many ways. May your senses open wide in recognition. Let us sit and breathe together for just a minute or two. You may pray, you may sleep, you may meditate. May the silence we have shared continue to hold and to heal us. plunging into that cold, clear river with both feet, down, down, under, and then swimming off like a fish? Or is it now more like this, launching gently from the edge and drifting, just floating buoyantly on the surface? Come on now. Which is it, the key to a life well lived? How should we, especially in the days when we feel like we're just flailing around about enough to almost drown, how should we frame our mind and position our body to go about the business of living? It's like this every week, no, every day. The choice of the turn and the self-declaration, right? Not to be on the one hand and then on the other hand kind of persons. And if you're in a pulpit, not to be the two-handed preacher. It's like this and it's like that. It's more like this today. No, it's more like that today. Either one, I don't know. But the truth of a human life is somehow knowing how to do just the right thing at the moment that is presented to you. And then repeat the process, each moment, each action, a precious choice, like another pearl on your own string of virtue and destiny. Sometimes it is indeed the one thing, and other times it is the other. Life is like that. I used to enjoy, back in the days, there was a Barnes & Noble. That was our main Sunday afternoon hobby, to go walk the aisles. And it helped me architecturally to structure the interests in my world. Classic cars on the one hand, dogs and cats on the other. Every interest of mine had an aisle, and I could physically navigate that space, and I would always stop by the self-help section, because Lord knows I need some help, and there might be a new book that helps me. I still do it. I do it in virtual ways, walk the aisles. And when I walk that aisle of self-help, or now I often go to the spirituality section, the number one title that appears more than anyone else, any other one, aside from maybe acceptance, a lot of acceptance, accept, is also deep. Deep roots, deep insight, deep friendships, deep reading, deep tissue massage. The options go on, and all of them promising to fix something. I want sometimes, though, with all of this, go more deeply. Sometimes I don't want to be like the great oak shooting 100-year roots down, the kind that destroyed my driveway in Savannah, Georgia. We had a giant live oak in front, older than me, gonna live longer than me, be breaking that driveway for years. Sometimes I don't want to be like that. Sometimes I want to be like the Spanish moss. Anyone here from the South? I often think of Spanish moss. Spanish moss is this beautiful, I got one person who knows about the Spanish moss that hangs gently off the live oaks down in Savannah, Georgia, and places like it. It's magical. It's not clear where it comes from. It has no roots. It just hangs on the tree and seems to draw its nourishment from the air surrounding it. You can pick it up, you can move it and drop it on top of some other tree, and it'll just draw its nutrients from that place as well. It hovers just above everything. It lives lightly. So I ask you today, are you looking for a deep, deeply rooted life, far down in the soil where no one can see? Or do you want to rest above the gentle cradling limb of a live oak? Yes, we want these things. And such is the problem of living, to be penetrating into the depths or superficial, going lightly above it, being live oak on one day or Spanish moss the next. And I'll tell you today, I am feeling in a Spanish moss kind of mood, just where I am. It's a world surrounding us that seems to call us to sink down. Forget the live oak. Think about quicksand inviting us, go deep here. I don't want to go deep there. The world and the news and the squawking keeps inviting me to go deep into hate and conflict and pettiness. And I want to walk around those pits of quicksand. Even in serious and not hateful matters, and people say, we got to go deep. In business, back in the day, people would say at a time in a meeting, oh, we need to do a deep dive on this. And I would say, oh, Lord, no, please. Any corporate folks in the crowd say, we're going to do a deep dive. That means 2 days of work and a day-long meeting in which we go deeper and deeper in the minutia of an issue that maybe need not be an issue. In my personal spiritual life, I felt burned too many times by spiritual leaders who say they're going to offer a deep path, a deep way, only to find the superficiality of that, come on, is not a lightness in the world, but a triviality that denies us something important of our humanness. And so what I say today in this on the one hand and on the other hand kind of sermon is that there are days that I yearn for the deep, and there are days that I learn for a lightness of being. And at this age and stage of my own life, what I am striving for is a kind of spiritual virtuosity, to be able to move between the two. And I want to receive permission from whom I don't know, but I want to receive the permission to, on some days, simply go lightly, to live lightly, to not jump into the pit of quicksand or the deep pool. And I need that freedom. And on other days, I want to have the liberty to stop and dwell where I know there is more. Never is that clearer to me than with people. We're in such a hurry in our life, and we encounter people briefly, and I don't know if it's at church, and today you shook someone's hand and said, it's good to see you, we haven't met before, and something hooked you, and you said, this is a deeper pool into which I would like to sink and spend some time. I need to spend some more time with this person. That's my invitation on this day, I suppose, in the wisdom of knowing when to go deep and when to go lightly, is maybe not to be invited into the quicksand of the public sphere and the public problems and public hostility, and instead give ourselves freedom and permission to go deep, take time, and in the lingo of my funeral home, pour a glass of sweet tea and sit with someone to learn some dimensionality, some depth that you have heretofore denied yourself. Now is a time of turning away from worldly things when we can. We can't always. When we can, to give ourselves that freedom to go deeper into the precious things, to move and not let people ensnare us into a depth of hatefulness. That's heavy. A depth of distraction that's equally problematic. The world conspires to distract us from the places where we need to go deeper. Where we need to go deeper into our own spiritual well-being. We need to go deeper into our primary relationships. We need to go deeper into the way we reach out and take the hand of our neighbor who we don't know. The price we pay for distraction is the sacrifice of the very stuff that makes life worthwhile. And that's what we do here. Why do we come every week at 10 a.m.? To recalibrate the scales, refix the lenses on what's important to us. Maybe it's knowledge inside that guides us toward the important thing. Maybe it's we come here and we receive a new word. Maybe we come and we learn something from the people in the pews, once in a blue moon from the guy in the pulpit. Sometimes up the stairs at a first forum and someone teaches us about the world and we say, I had no idea. I hope the encounter of this congregation, this church, is in part hearing things and experiencing things that comfort us because of their familiarity, because we've sunk down deep into the life of this community for 50 years. And so we are comforted by the familiar and we are surprised by the new. That's my wish for you today. I want to talk about the danger of errors among depth seekers, right? There are two kinds of errors. I'll call type 1 and type 2 errors in the spirit of science, right? One kind of error is that we look at things that seem deep, but are actually a bunch of smoke and mirrors, a bunch of nothing. Do not be hoodwinked in this way. Most things called deep, most things carrying the label of deep, like think about that section in the bookstore, it's marketing, come on. Let us not be ones to commit that type 1 error of mistaking the trivial for the deep. Again, at this age and stage, I want to use my daylight with the care it deserves and not dedicate hours of my day to trivial details. That's harder than it seems. By contrast, sometimes it is that seemingly superficial things that don't matter, people who inconsequentially you met on the street or were in your chemistry class or were in the pew next, inconsequential things, oh yeah, I met them, are the invitation to world and life transforming relationships. That's a more dangerous kind of error to make. To pass things by that are invitations to ways of life. And I don't know what those things are. I'm using the example of people because that's the most powerful thing that I have experienced in terms of changing my life. Relationships I didn't expect. And you never expect the best relationships of your life. You need to have a posture of openness toward them. It's people, number one, but it might also be a job, an opportunity to take on a project, an opportunity to explore a new community. It could be something as small as exploring new food, new tastes. What we do in the aesthetic realm, the new music we listen to that cracks us open and blows our mind. I think it impacts what we do in the ethical realm, how disposed we are to being open to the world, being taught a new way. Can you teach an old dog a new trick? I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it for myself. As I age, and I think about that, I am more convinced that I do not need to scurry around, hurry before my legs give out, and climb new mountains. But more and more, I feel it is an absolute necessity for me to find out the name of the wild flowering bush in my side yard, learn when it's going to blossom so I can prepare myself for it, learn how to prune it, learn how to propagate it. I am feeling even more sure that it is not the person I haven't met who will rock my world, but my continued discovery, going deeper with the primary relationships and in some ways the people I already know. Can you rediscover someone you've known for 40 years? Is there anything left in that well to go? And yeah, there is. Let the people closest to you, the people you already know you love, surprise you with these new disclosures. Grant them the benefit of the doubt of depth beyond your knowledge. Kind of theological, epistemological humility. There's more to know in the things we think we've been through front to back. And as I look to my ministry, and as I hope you look to your ministries in this place, use those same principles. Pay attention to the subtle gleamings that suggest places you might go deeper, and you might serve the world in ways you haven't thought was in your capacity, part of your repertoire. Those places that are calling to you right now to be something new, to be audacious, to serve anew, to crack open someone else's world with the gifts you have been given that haven't yet been fully expressed. And on this day, and as a compass in doing the work of attuning to the things that are apparently trivial but could be deep, and avoiding the things that claim to be deep but are of no consequence, I suggest to you your compass is your inner sense of love. Let your love guide you toward that which is precious and that which calls you today. Let us have as our number one capability in this church a capacity for falling in love, wildly, head over heels in love with ideas, possibilities, opportunities to serve. Fall in love with those things and let yourself plunge deeply into them. On this day, I wish your hearts to be absolutely filled with love. I wish your eyes to be opened anew to the possibilities surrounding you, and I wish your brilliant choosing minds to go well into our future together. May it be so, and amen.
All right, everybody, we are doing hymn 298 in the gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses. Please stand in body or spirit, or rise in body or spirit as you're able. Again, that's 298 in the gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses. We're doing verses 1 through 3. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end.
I invite you to reach out and take a hand of someone near to you for a closing word together. As you go from this place, may you be blessed. May you be blessed by an absolute openness of being to the beautiful things in the universe which surrounds you. May you be blessed by self-knowledge, that you may be aware of the love in your heart and the direction it points you. And may you be blessed by a sense of the family to which you belong and a sense of trust that they will be by your side. Go in peace. Amen.
Amen.